Hey guys, this is a re-recording because the one that I did yesterday had too many fumble ups, the audio was wrong, everything like that. So I'm just gonna go back over this again. And this is the myth, an idea that a lot of us just don't have the time to make for things like our weight loss in particular. So certain facets or things that we just decide we don't want to do and therefore don't prioritize or make the time for. And I'm going to tell you why that's kind of ridiculous, because if you need some kind of myth buster, here you go, or even motivation. If you want to lose weight, you're gonna have to get a hold of how much food you're eating and then monitor what you eat after that. That's the only sustainable way to do it in a long term state, so that you can eat enough food, feel full, and not end up yo yo dieting constantly. It takes a little work, okay? And the way that starts is by counting your calories. And I know that that sounds daunting to a lot of people. Uh, what I encounter a lot of the time whenever I'm working with clients is that, or even complete strangers or friends or family or anybody really, whenever I tell them like, oh hey, do you want to know how I did what I did? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, okay, well, it requires calorie counting. And they go, I don't got time for that. And it's a blatant lie to yourself, because this is the age of technology, okay? How many times a day do you open up your phone and go scrolling through any kind of social media or watching any kind of video or sitting down on the couch and watching any kind of show? All right? That right there is time wasted, okay? And you have no problem doing that, right? So don't lie to me. You don't think twice about that. Okay? So when it comes to something like weight loss, we get really passionate about it, right? We end up spending a lot of money, we put a lot of time into it, we put a lot of effort into it, and we allow it to drag ourselves down when we can't accomplish it. Okay? That's ridiculousness when we truly do have the power and capability to change it. And all it takes is like 5 to 10 minutes a day to put your food into a macro calculator or any kind of food calculator, write it down on a piece of paper, and then keep track of it day to day, meal to meal. It should take minutes, okay? If you have the time to invest in other people and your kids, taking pictures, posting to Snapchat, and going through Facebook and liking and commenting on things, you have enough time, my girl, to open up MyFitnessPal and add your what you've eaten that day into an app, so you can get an idea of how much you're eating, when you're eating, and you know what it'll take in order to consistently like still eat almost the same way and lose weight. It's that simple. It's literally minutes. Okay? If you are going to give yourself the excuse that you don't have time to track your calories or count your keep track of what you're eating, even just writing it down in a list, you need to reevaluate your priorities. Okay? Because it sounds like you are allowing what you want to take a back seat to other people and their needs. So it's time to think about that. If you're not willing to put in a couple minutes for yourself, then maybe you should kind of like see where your energy is going. And I think that you'd benefit a great deal from putting more energy into yourself and accomplishing your goals. Or hey, maybe you don't even really want it. You just think you do. You like the idea of it, but you don't want to put in the work. And that's not what we're here for. I'm not about that. Uh, what you want, if you're willing to actually accomplish it, it's worth putting in some effort. Okay? And honestly, this is pretty minimal effort. So if you can't do that, then this is not for you. It's really not. It's quite simple. I feel like it's asking almost the bare minimum of somebody to do something. So stop lying to yourself. It's not an excuse. It's really not. Okay? Thank you. Once again, I'm just going to go ahead and move on. The card that I pulled for this topic is actually the Outlaw. Can you see that? It's a very pretty card. It's from the Threads of Fate Lumen deck. It's very nice. And so, if you can see it here, The reading and interpretation I get from this card is it has to do with breaking the norm, getting out of old habits, going down the path less traveled. You can see there's some mountains in here. That means that even though our trials and tribulations are hard, there's always a beautiful scene at the top of the mountain that you can find. Same thing with your boots. Your feet might get kind of dirty, and that's fine. That's what we're preparing for, right? Because we want to get down and dirty and get through the muck and then find the diamond in the rough, truly. And even if something like meal prepping is daunting, I know. I was embarrassed about it at first. I didn't like people seeing me bringing food to work and then people commenting on it or having something to say or something that they think about it. And that just really, it sounds worse to you than it really is. Because you need to play it through your head. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Me like, you're so stupid. You're so ridiculous. Why would you ever do that? Is that the worst case scenario? What, are they gonna book drop your food? Like, it's not that bad. It's not that big a deal. Even if they did, you pick up and move on. That's about the worst that can happen. Okay, we can't let these fears, these just kind of ridiculous fears, take control over our choices. You gotta step forward, move past it, and pave a way for yourself. You gotta be ready to take the ridicule if it's for something that you truly value and something that you believe in. Okay? Because that's the only way you're gonna prove that it's what you really want. There's nothing worth having if it's not worth you fighting for. It truly isn't. And we're looking for progress, not perfection. So it's not like you have to be perfect right off the bat. It's always a learning process. But just stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to me when it comes down to like, oh, do you want this? Yeah. What are you willing to do for it? Almost anything. Okay, do this one simple thing for 4 days. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, well, be real with yourself. So, thank you for your time. I post workouts on Instagram, lifestyle and fitness stuff on YouTube. I go live for games and card play on my Facebook. And you can see the tags for all of that down below. So if you took the time to watch this, I deeply appreciate you because time is our most valuable asset. And I hope to see and hear from you soon. Leave a comment on something else that you might like to hear about. So, thank you.